Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 30 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. And today we need to solve a problem. And that problem is a lack of communications range to Jool. As you can see, the Kerbin to Jool window is coming soon. Our probes are ready. I've decided I will take one more probe, but first we have to solve the problem of limited communications range. So, first things first, I wanted to complete and build the Jool nuke probe. So I've we press warp to complete. Okay. And then let's see. Yes. After that, we want to construct now the communication satellite that would be enable us to talk to Jool, essentially. So, let us get onwards with the construction. First, looking for Probodobodyne. Well, I'm showing this slightly time accelerated because, you don't need to see that slow while I'm figuring out things and deciding. So, it is slightly time accelerated. And I'm kind of thinking to make it rather small with the 3 antennas, which would be Reflectron. I'm thinking this one, KR. I'm just looking if there's any other. I don't think so. This is the one, 60 gigameters. I hope this will be okay. I don't know. We will run a simulation then and we'll check. I was thinking 3 like this. So it could maybe go to Jool and maybe, I don't know, Dres or something. So let's put a Communotron 32 to maintain connection with the KSC. Batteries we have, reaction wheels we have. Okay, let's see what we got else. The Reflectron, the small one, that would enable the satellite to actually fly into orbit. And in case when we I found them also very useful. If you stage and forgot to extrude your Communotron, well, that's very handy, so you don't lose the connection. So, yes, because this one is always on. Okay, now I'm looking for the, I believe, Xenon tank first. And first I was thinking to put Xenon tank and ion drive. But then again, these antennas are pretty heavy and the battery is heavy, so my thrust to weight would be 0.07, and that's really, even with the after ion thruster, it's still way too low. So I'm kind of thinking out loud. I actually don't want the Xenon drive. I'll go just for the regular liquid fuel and oxidizer, I guess. So I'm looking first for Oxcar B fuel tank and first we go with toroid fuel tank, that one. And then we'll put the Oscar B in the middle, like that. We put 2 of them and then we enable part clipping and we will add some more of this toroid fuel tanks like that. We need some delta V and those are a nice way to put them, so normally I refrain from part clipping, but in this case, I guess with this particular tank, you could say we just daisy chain them basically, so on the rare occasions it is justified, but normally it's not, so I guess it depends. Okay, so this looks like our satellite, which would be the long-range communication satellite, not the ultra-long range, but still the long range. So now just to remove, because I remember I also wanted to add another set of battery and also Gigantor solar panels because we need them. But then again, actually I don't need Gigantors, so I'm thinking maybe maybe I'll just put the regular solar panels. I just have to first see how much they're consuming. Okay, yeah, it's not that much, so we can get away with the regular solar panels, I think. Okay, so let's check it out. 2 times 3, I'd rather go for the 1 times 6. So we put 3 of them here in the, like, between the satellite dishes, and then we put another 3 like this. So that will be nice. Okay, let's return the fuel tank. Actually, let me just see something. Darkness. Once again, I'm trying desperately to use this, the fuse box, but it just is refusing. I even changed the version because I was hoping that it would actually be of some use. But I guess for 090, no, not such luck, sadly. I assume that the authors did correct the errors that they have for the 1.0, but for this case, which I'm needing, it's pretty useless. I don't want to uninstall it because it still gives me some warnings, but for the design at least it's useless. Okay, Kerbin Low Range CommSat Mark 1. That's it. Not much more complex than that, but then again, actually, let me just first put some action groups. Yeah, solar panels, put one, and let us simulate the vessel, 100-kilometer orbit, and we want to see if we can basically reach Jool or 120 orbit. That's fine. So, okay, now we are here. We do have the connection, and we want to activate as quickly as possible the communitrons, just that we don't lose the connection to Kerbin. Opening up the solar panels, and I actually am quite proud of the design. It looks really nice. But that being said, let us now target Jool. Oh dear. Jool is at 78 gigameters. And these antennas, to my knowledge, are only up to 60 gigameters. So that means they won't be able to reach Jool. Oh boy. Or well, Duna is 25, so for Duna it's fine. I think I'll just have to use this satellite maybe at Duna, so I'm afraid we will have to scrap this design and maybe use it at a later stage. This is post-commentary clearly, and I wanted to show you an example design of a communication satellite that I would be putting in orbit to communicate, one around in Kerbin and one around Jool. So those two would be maintaining connection, and then this one might be, used for communication for the probe around Jool that would be communicating via him. But clearly, as you can see, it's not much use. Now, also we have to design from scratch. We will design, but at least the design from before we will reuse for our missions that will be going to Duna. It's just unfortunate that the Jool had to come before Duna, and my goal is, at least in the first batch, I'm just sending the probes because I need some telemetry information, orbital information, temperatures, etc. before I start planning manned missions, clearly. So, yeah, for the first batch of probes, I guess we can live with it. And this is a good testing ground for testing new technologies, clearly. So, yeah, so I'm gonna have to use this big antenna. And I want to put it on top of a girder just because I need to put a lot of other stuff in the middle. So let's put this one. I want to disable part clipping because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of it. And now let's see. Okay, so what else do we have? We have Communitron and like this. Oh, this is gonna stick through the antenna, well, won't it? So when I open this big communication dish, this one will be sticking like a sore thumb through the antenna. Oh, I don't like it. Let's see if I can maybe angle it somehow. Hold on. And now just let's see if we can angle it like this. Would it still be clipping? Let's see. And let's put this here. This might be good. Okay, that one we actually need. Then what else do we need? We need... Let's see, no, this one, and this one is 400 gigameters, so I'm trying to figure out how much solar panels will I need. I'll definitely need some gigantors for this one. Now, I want some reaction wheels. Then again, we have fuel tanks. I was thinking this fuel tank and the small engine. Yeah, the 909. Holy crap, that's 2991 delta V. I actually don't need that much delta V. It's a big overkill. So yeah, let's put this small one. How much is it? Oh, 1000. Well, that's good enough. We don't need actually much more delta V than that, so that's fine. Batteries are there. Gigantor solar panels. I think that I'm pretty satisfied with this design. I'm just kind of thinking, let me just check. Oh, it folds twice. Alright, and then again it will stick through it. Okay, that we have to fix somehow. But hold on, I believe in the previous playthrough of this interplanetary voyage I have unlocked some infernal robotics. So why not let's put these guys on a clam. So, or close power hinge. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's just have to tweak scale it down. Yeah, I forgot at this point I don't want auto scale, so let's just put it like this. Turn it. Come on. Not like that, not like... yeah, like that. Okay. And I want small. Yeah, perfect. So I'm gonna put 2. And on top of that, I'm gonna put Communitron. I think it will look cool. I mean, we have enough electric charge, so might as well. So let's just put rotation up to some around 90 degrees. We don't want more. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so let's put our Communitron on it, shall we? Yeah, both of them will open, which is great. So Communitron, and just put it nicely here. Okay, got it, and they open. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Foldable when flying, and it unfolds when we are sufficiently up. That's great. So, solar panels 1, Communitron 2, and let's call it satellite Kerbin long range CommSat Mark 1. Mark 2, sorry, Mark 1 was the one where we failed with the design, yeah. Okay, now I believe we need some lights. I don't like my satellites being dark. Oh yeah, and beside we do need fairing now, don't we? It will not go in 1.25, we need a 2.5 at least, I think. 2.5, yeah, that one will do nicely. Okay, put them in the same stage. Fairing, yeah. Cool, that's it. Then what else do we need? Now we need a fuel tank. Perfect. An engine. Skipper was a... no, mainsail. 287. Okay, thrust to weight is definitely sufficient. Delta V is sufficient. I actually like more this delta V, but it's 1.32. I actually don't need 6,000 delta V. It's a little bit of an overkill, I think, at least for my taste. What else do we need? We need some decouplers, yes, because we want the boosters for the initial stage, because I think it's 1.32, it's not really gonna cut it that bad. So no, this one is not good. Let's find this hydraulic detachment manifold. Or just radial decouplers, those could work too. Yeah. And now we have again 6.5 thousand delta V. I mean, that's clearly an over-engineering, but well, what you gonna do? Save, and let's give it a test run, shall we? Simulate. I just basically want to see how it goes. Normally I prefer simulating only the manned missions, but then again, okay, just kick it off. Oh, and the first part of the flight is actually without the center engine, so. And I here notice a little bit difference with the staging. So, yeah, now it works. And 1.3, but we are already heading sufficiently quickly, so that's fine. And our thrust weight is climbing. So, but I do think that we went way overboard on our delta V. We don't really need that much delta V. I mean, I know we're not playing with funds, but still, we should be at least a little bit cost conscious. Otherwise the government might say that cut our funding, you know. So, okay. Let's see how it goes. We're climbing up, that's for sure. Yeah, I think overall this will work fine. By the way, these satellites I planned not to put like 3 equidistant, but I more thought like 2 that would be yo-yoing. One would be going very low in elliptical orbit, so one would be going over the North Pole, very high over the North Pole, and then very shallow over the South Pole, and the other would be going vice versa. So fairing separation, extracting the solar panel, and also our communitrons and burning for the orbit. Yeah, I think this will work nicely. At certain points when I'm doing the recording, I do forget that this is actually a simulation, which was what happened when I was recording this. This is clearly post-commentary, or as Scott would say, new me. But yeah, okay, so yeah, apoapsis, periapsis. I just wanted to see that I haven't had enough delta V and what would be the optimal height to basically launch a satellite. So I'm just now, that's another thing that I wanted to test. How high can I put it to ensure that it is maintaining that it is quite long, available, because then it goes very high up, stays long time, and then it goes very shallow. So your uptime is actually much more than it would be if you had it around circular orbit. So just doing another flyby of Kerbin's pole and coming up on the south pole, and we will be burning. I initially set the height to be around 4,000 kilometers, but let's see. Sorry, not 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 kilometers. So let's see how that one goes. Yeah, something along these lines. Okay, and I think that should provide enough uptime. Now we have just activated the big antenna. As you see now, because of the infernal robotics, it's not clipping, which is very nice. And I just want to see how our consumption... Well, our consumption is horrid when we are in the dark side, but fortunately we come quickly enough to the light side, which is something I'm hoping. And let's see. So we're now at 2.4 thousand. Yeah, this first is actually around 34 kilometers. Sorry, I have scrapped the design. I have scrapped because you cannot have it for 34, because the maximum range of our Communitron Omni antenna that we are using is actually only 5. So next time we will put around 4. But I went a little bit back more to the drawing board, and I decided I want smaller tank. So yeah, this episode is also a little bit more construction. The next one should be a good blend and a little bit more launches, hopefully. But still, we will do something here as well in terms of flying a little bit. Okay, I think this should work way better, because now we have the skipper engine at the bottom. We have 1.6 thrust to weight on the surface, and we have 5.3 delta V, which is more than enough to get us to Kerbin polar orbit. Cool. So I'm just thinking out loud. I want also to put another probe here, because I essentially want this stage to return home. But then again, I forgot. Well, I have forgotten the parachutes, which only makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, setting up the action groups. Okay, I think that should be more or less okay, and let us just build the vessel. Okay, now let us just... Okay, now we have long-range CommSat, and we have another that is before, so we'll just warp to complete. And the interesting thing is that while we are building craft, we are also gaining some science, and we will need that to unlock the tech nodes, and also, I mean, it is also represents like small findings when your Kerbals are... Engineers are developing the engine, developing the rockets, they're finding a new and innovative ways how to do it. So I believe this is fine, and that investing in science is like investing in their training and experience. So sending them to courses basically. Okay, and now we come to the point where we actually have to basically make a course correction for our Eve probe, which we launched, I believe, many episodes ago. I think it was even around, maybe, was it 10 or 5 or something like that. So, our Eve probe, and we will be using the flight computer. Yeah, which said hold maneuver prograde, which is good, and execute the next maneuver node, which is only 24 meters per second, but it gives us a nice encounter with Eve. And with encounter, I mean almost like an aero brake, which is just peachy. So, yeah, I mean, not that we need an aero brake, but we have more than enough delta V. So we will see. Maybe I will even just brake regularly, especially because we have a time delay. So I do not want to risk burning up in the atmosphere or something. So, but then again, we are not using the deadly re-entry, so actually, maybe it doesn't. It's not big, but I don't want to risk being aero captured because for me it's hard to guess the size, and we have more than enough fuel, so we don't need to care. Okay, we are burning. This after ion thruster is actually very good for the small craft, not so much for the big craft. For the small one it is 006, but still it's fine. Okay, yes, we have an encounter with Eve. And that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you liked the episode. As you can see, the encounter is just great. So, if you like the episode, do like, and more interplanetary missions will be coming soon. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This is GrunfWorks, signing off.